welcome to the Bleeding Truth. This is a show a lot of people came out to watch. It's about race relations in America today, and I'd like to start off with Tony, being that you're in the middle. And I'd like to start off with the N-word. Should that be banned in use in America for life? And you know what word we're talking about.
Nigger, please. No. You know, that's a word where, to be honest with you, I feel like it's a word that takes on negative connotations when you want it to be negative. I mean, yes, if you look at it, it could be negative.
Is
but
Bird allowed to use that word?
No, Bird is not allowed, because 9 times out of 10, when Bert uses that word, he's trying to be negative. Whereas if Amari was to say that word, he's not trying to be negative, so that because he's not trying to be negative and he knows the experience of having to receive it himself, it's a different connotation for me coming from him than it is coming from him. So it's a situation of where when he's saying it to me, I don't take it as if he's insulting me, whereas when he's saying it to me, I take it as an insult.
I know you have a spin on this, Tamari. I'm just interested to hear what you have to say about this.
Okay. Well, I'm with Tony on this. I think it goes a little bit deeper than just whether it's just a racial thing or not. It's more or less a power thing. I mean, we have black people that can actually use the word cracker or redneck, and we associate that with being a form of power. In other words, it's almost like us against them. So we may say, yeah, you know, those crackers won't let us get a piece. I mean, you know, I hate the way it flows off my tongue like that. But the point is that when you're speaking of the word N-I-G-G, E-R, it's in a form of degradation, but at the same time, it's recognizing that you all are less than. In the black culture, it's accepted because we've been beat down for so long. We've become numb to being degraded that way. So this is why even in our music, we may allow the terms, bitches and hoes and things of that nature, because we've been desensitized to it. So it's almost a form of camaraderie to say, hey, what's up, my nigga? It's more like I'm identifying with you because we're from the same social struggle, whereas a Caucasian individual would not be able to say that because we know what term or what context that they're using it in.
So when you're saying Caucasian, that's with the C, you mean a cracker, right?
No, I'm actually saying, I'm actually saying Caucasian. Only because remember, when black people refer to whites as being crackers, it's not as though we're saying that we don't like them. We're associating that with power, showing that there is a difference between the two. I wouldn't talk about you like that. I wouldn't talk about him like that.
But Bert could be a cool cracker, is what you just said. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Bert, I see you pretty serious on this issue. Do you want to throw in your 2 cents?
I'm not offended by these guys. In fact, even though Watley and I have kicked each other's butts many, many times, I think we're friends.
Without a doubt.
And we don't even understand why. Okay?
It's a love-hate relationship.
But now, okay, let's take it to the younger level, because if you go to the malls, you go to high school, you'll have white kids, black kids, Spanish kids, all kinds of kids, and they'll be using the N-word freely amongst each other. So has the power of the N-word been kind of desensitized? Because I know for a fact, it's not the same term for them that it might be for a different generation.
But I think one of the reasons why you can, if us three had been best friends all our lives, and he said, nigger, I'd be like,
I wouldn't use
what?
it, Tony, though. But you know why? Because if you really look up the definition of the word, it's a derogatory phrase for a black African, very simply.
That's coming from you. Coming from you, it's derogatory.
Now,
coming
you
from
obviously
him, it's
wouldn't
not
mean it's
derogatory.
derogatory, but if I said it, then certainly you would think it was derogatory. But
Right.
either way, it's a derogatory phrase.
Well, it depends if it's acceptable to you.
Okay.
I have people in my culture that are so black we call them blue, or so black we call them black.
Blue?
As a nickname. But
Did you hear that, Chris?
Yeah, I've heard on over.
But if a person that's not a part of the same social struggle, if they said that, then it would be degrading to them.
Right.
Where I hear it most now are from black people with of African heritage, using it more than anywhere. In fact, there's guys going down my street with the boom boxes, and all I can hear is profanities and bleep.
Well, I'll give you another example when it comes to women. Really close friend women can sit there and go beep, 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 the B word to each other, and they can just be like, beep. But if I walked up to her and said beep, she'd be like,
yeah, it'd be a problem. Yeah. It's definitely about the context in which it's being used,
and
period. That's the total thing. Because, I mean, we can take the word boy. If we want to ban, nigger, let's take the word boy. I mean, that was used as a derogatory term, but it was the context in which it was used.
That could be more derogatory, right?
More derogatory to me.
When you say so?
Yeah.
Much more derogatory to me, because I'm a man. And for you to call me a boy, it's time to fight. There's not even an argument then.
Okay, now let's move on from the N-word to the term.
Wait, Chris.
Go ahead.
The thing is, there's a lot of people that I love, okay? And some of them have black skin. And I love them. It would hurt me more than it would hurt them to use that word on them. Just like Tony. I've never used any slur to... There's people I love.
Have you ever used the term redneck before? Hold on. Have you ever used the term redneck before? Have you ever used the term redneck before? Okay, see, and that's culturally accepted in your culture. I mean, Foxworthy does a little bit where he says, you're a redneck, you know that you're a redneck if you do so-and-so. What I'm saying is that it's accepted in your culture, but you have to be a part of that same social status in order for it to be okay.
Yeah. I've never heard a white person use that for someone they actually knew. It's just, instead of, someone cuts you off, instead of saying bleep hole or jerk or jackass or whatever, then you notice the person's black and they'd use that instead. And really, they're just cussing them. But
sure, I can agree with that.
That.
I can agree with that. And that doesn't mean that person is a racist.
But in the black community, I disagree. There is a division on the use of the N-word, because I watch a lot of Oprah, and she had a special with Simmons.
You
all the time.
Wrong person.
Yeah, you did.
You watch a lot of Oprah.
She's not a nigger. I mean, I'm just saying.
Now,
she graduated from that social status. She's in a whole nother socioeconomic class.
When Chris Rock came out with his stand-up routine, and he said either you're a black person or you're, and he was using the N-word. There was some controversy there.
See, why are you scared to say it, though? That's
I'm not
the thing.
Say it.
No, but what I'm saying is
I'll lose my show.
But we're talking. See, but that's the thing, though.
He's stepping 10 feet away from me.
We're talking about the
gentler
word. And it's like, you shouldn't be in a society where you should be afraid to even say the word. I mean, I can say redneck and cracker with no problem, and that's accepted because I'm talking about the subject itself. Why is it okay for you to at least say
Come
the
on,
word?
before the night over, I gotta hear you say nigga. One time tonight, nigga.
Release yourself.
Come on, Chris. Release it. Nigga, one time for me, Chris. Come on. Come on, Chris. One time. And say my nigga. My nigga across the table.
If you could get Bert to say it, I'll go right after him.
Come on, my nigga. My nigga.
Yeah, don't walk into that.
Come on, Bert. Come on, Bert.
My nigga.
My nigga. My nigga. Come on, Bert.
I'm not going to say bleeper on live TV.
First thing that'll happen is I will lose my director on live TV. She'll walk out on the show.
The best producer we got.
All right, hold on. Let's get on to, man, that was good. The next issue.